Welcome. We are, Gina and I are going to be discussing a message from Source that was extracted from a much longer writing. And we're going to do some little discussion about it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We are trying this out. So, all right. So this writing is about valuing oneself, I believe. I haven't taken a look at it. I know, Gina, you might be a little more familiar with it than I am.
It is. It is about self-value. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to just take a read through and then we'll just
Mm-hmm.
talk about whatever pops out at us.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to come into the homecoming of your own worth and value, to honor that which you have contributed, grown, and blossomed into. It is to honor the self that has been doing all of it for so very long. It is time to re-inventory the stock house, to see not only the material, but the assets of the self. You do not give yourself the full glory of the self that you have bloomed into. You are often reluctant to so honor yourself. This is overdue. I can relate to that. How about you?
Yes, it's calling my name. Loud and clear.
So what are your thoughts about it, Gina?
Well, I was thinking about how each of us has our own style of home, and so our homecoming would be different too.
Hmm.
I think about it just occurred to me that Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz,
Hmm.
she was in this magical kingdom, but all she really wanted to do was go back to dry brown Kansas where her aunt and uncle lived and she was loved. So that's what calls to me that you must appreciate your own version of what receiving yourself and going home to yourself is for
Hmm.
you. That's what occurs to me.
Yeah. And what pops out to me is this struggle that humans seem to be caught in with not valuing themselves or seeing their worth or
Mm.
honoring themselves or not seeing their growth. I was talking to a friend earlier today and she was like, I haven't um I haven't grown or done much since the I was looking at my journal and I'm the same place I was in 2020. And she's endeavoring to start a new business. And I was like, is that really true? I mean, I don't know that that's really true, but I think it's representative of what we do, that we don't necessarily uh come home to our own value, our own worth, and
Yeah.
honoring ourselves. And
Mhm.
Source is inviting us to, re-inventory the stock house, right? To see the assets, to see what's
Mhm.
there. So much easier to see it in other people.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. Oh, well, and you and I have talked about this a lot, that we never see ourselves as other people do.
Yeah.
We're always the harshest judge of our own character.
Mhm.
I constantly amazed by that. Um, yeah, all my friends see me as much brighter, much more beautiful, much more
I
interesting.
would be in that line of seeing you that way.
Oh,
And
uh,
I noticed that this word honor comes up. Honor, it's time to come into the homecoming of your own worth and value, to honor that which you have contributed.
Mhm.
grown and blossomed into. And then honor comes in at the end again. You're often reluctant to so honor yourself, and this is overdue.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know why this thought of honoring ourselves, even honoring our wishes above somebody else, or honoring our intuition, our
Opinion, you know,
instincts. Pardon me?
our opinion, a lot
Right.
of times when I talk to somebody I think is more educated, I will preface whatever I say with, um, this may sound stupid, but, or I don't know
Yeah.
much about this, but, there's
Right.
always that preface.
Yeah. And I just wonder why. I think that many of us have been taught that, be careful you're not in your ego. You don't want to be a narcissist. You don't want to be a braggart. But I think that um, what Source is inviting us to is to really honor and receive, like you said, receive who we are, and to recognize our own worth and value. And maybe that recognition is integral to being able to honor oneself.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I have never seen in any writing God saying, you really need to get off your high horse.
Hmm. Mm,
That never happens.
right.
At
Yeah.
least not for me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well,
Well,
why don't we just, do you want to read through it one more time before we close this out?
sure. How about, do you want me to read it?
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
It is time to come into the homecoming of your own worth and value, to honor that which you have contributed, grown, and blossomed into. It is to honor the self that has been doing all of it and for so very long. It is time to re-inventory the stockhouse, to see not only the material, but the assets of the self. You do not give yourself the full glory of the self that you have bloomed into. You are often reluctant to so honor yourself, and this is overdue.
Powerful. And
Yeah.
as we said, this is just excerpted from a much longer writing that was an individual's writing, but it speaks to all of us and our humanity. And so I think for me, what it elicits and reminds me is to, maybe I could re-inventory that stockhouse. Maybe I could even acknowledge I do have some assets, you
Mm,
know, or whatever, and to be more generous in receiving the growth that I have made, not like, oh, I didn't do that right, or oh, the same place I was 4 years ago, which we know would not be true. We're all growing and changing. But so this is Gina and I just giving you some food for thought and seeing how it lands with you. How
mm,
could you invite yourself to your own homecoming to recognize and honor your own value and your worth? So we hope that this has intrigued you and evoked some deeper contemplation for you. So
yes.
thanks for listening.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Thanks, Gina, for
Hmm. Glad.
joining me in this little adventure.